So could you guys talk about how Legun came about and kind of how it all first got started?
Well, there's three more people involved in it.
Is it bad having the train going by?
No, it's fine.
Yeah. We started at the Royal College in that's where we all met in 2003, and there's three other people involved: Billy Bragg, Chris Bianchi, and Lexi Wright. And we basically we all liked similar stuff like narrative, kind of comic art, and artists like Otto Dix and George Gross and all sorts of stuff.
Underground
comics
from the 60s.
Raw magazine.
But we were all studying on a course, it was called Communication something or other at the Royal College, but it's like a mix of different people doing different stuff, like illustrators and designers and filmmakers. So that's where we did the first one. Our first issue was while we were at college, and then afterwards we thought we'd like to carry on doing it, so that's why we're still doing it now.
Yeah, and the first issue we didn't have any, we had to self-fund it, so we were putting on parties and making these big drawings that we would sell and kind of raising money through that way. So we were just like kind of self-publishing it and self-funding it and trying to collect artists and people as we went along to be in it. We've got one here.
Yeah, could you show us just like
first one?
And the first one, it's all black and white.
Yeah.
And a lot thinner than the other ones.
We kept the format, and there's a few ideas that we started with that we kept all the way through. Like we didn't like the books where you have a picture, but then they put loads of text and like stuff on top of the picture. So
and the name of the artist, we don't have.
Yeah, page numbers and names, and we also
so it all merges together like like one piece of work made of lots of different pieces of work.
So the design or the layout is basically about having no design, so we don't want anything to interfere with the artwork.
Yeah, and like take a lot of full bleed, and instead of like cropping and putting a picture in the middle.
Don't put things in boxes.
Yeah, because I think sometimes maybe like the mechanics of like book design, it kind of becomes more about the book than like the
work. Yeah, but the work in this is like very important. This is another idea we took, which we still use, is like the index. Instead of having page numbers, we have like a kind of map index, and we write stupid stuff about people. And
I think it's funny because I think JJ did a thing like that.
Well,
not really copying,
he ripped our idea. He wouldn't be the first to rip it out. And also, each issue, if we show some other issue, each issue we have like, this is one of our...
That's the first drawing we all did together.
Yeah, this is the first drawing we all did together with lots of other people.
So usually in the front we put a picture of some like project we've done, like a collective thing. So it's not only about making a publication, we do other stuff outside as well, like exhibitions and drawings and parties and stuff.
Also, like this was in number one, this was the first bit of letterpress we used, and
you kind of kept that aesthetic.
We've kept this aesthetic going all the way through, and now what we started to do on number two is like use quotes that link in with the work, and as the magazine develops right up to number 5, it's all based on one particular.
But what we used to do with the text is just kind of get stories and poems and stuff and stick them in. But on the new one we've tried a slightly different idea where the whole issue is based on this guy who's George Melly.
Show the picture.
Yeah, this guy George Melly is a sort of...
he was like a jazz musician and...
not the world's best jazz musician.
No, and he was
character.
He was a collector of surrealist and Dada artwork, and he was also a writer, presenter, and sort of what would you call it?
A Renaissance man.
Yeah, and he was he was like a Soho character. You know Soho in London. Right. He was a character who frequented
This is Soho in London.
This is.
This is called Wanker's Court.
Yeah, this is based on an area of Sorrow.
It's like one of the like the red light district.
But the thing that's a bit different about this one is that we start with George Melly on the front, and then this is the beginning of a story which is kind of from his perspective, and then all the way through it kind of weaves in and out in between this different artwork right to
the images all linked to his writing.
Yeah, all the images are like, whereas in number one they're sporadic, you know, you get images and they kind of link in a way, but in this, like, the images will link with the text and then more directly, even if they weren't designed to work that way. We've kind
it's
of
still pretty
pretty loose,
chaotic, but
there's no
images.
Ninja Turtle porn in the story, but somehow it links.
Well, for example, when the Ninja Turtles come into play, why are the Ninja Turtles there?
No, because it's green. We liked, and that's.
Yeah.
This is like based on there's this club in Soho called the Colony Rooms, which is now closed, no longer. And
this is a real toilet. So this is
kind of it's a version of it.
The unvarnished truth.
And in a bit of the story, he's passed out on the toilet, and so it kind of comes back. And then there's like bigger letterpress we use there, and then there's a poem. If you go. This was like for the guy who used to run the Colony Room, who died last year. Someone wrote this poem all about the Colony Room, so we asked if we could use it, and so that links in with the story. And
so is that like the whole green section kind of
links
is linked in
the
a narrative?
Yeah, this is the Colony Room was that kind of green. If you go look up here, that's the guy, and that's the club. Part of the club.
It's an extinct drinking den. Club.
And it's kind of like we wanted to get that feel in this, so there's people. It pays, like, if we show the front of the magazine, like here we kind of we dedicate the magazine to like people who have passed away and stuff that we know, and it's got quite a feel for.
Also, then the whole room became. Then the extension of the magazine was this. We made this whole giant exhibition, this room that's based around the same George Melly character and his briefcase. What was found in his briefcase, and then it's a drawing. It's like a giant 3D drawing that you can walk around in, and it's Berlin and Brussels.
Because we based it on an actual drawing. Then we made the room from the drawing. Let's find the drawing.
So there's lots of kind of connections like that through the whole thing. So there'll be characters that are in a drawing that might be real characters that might reoccur in the text. So there's lots of little links, which makes it kind of more interesting for us as well. So rather than just like sticking a load of pictures together.
This was like the original. We made this drawing like last year, beginning of last year, and then from that drawing we actually made this room. So it's kind of, and then we've linked everything together in this magazine, if that makes sense.
Like in the story, there's a bit about James Ensor's painting, which is this is a reworking of the painting. So there's lots of links, so that gets referred back to in the text.
It's like worlds within worlds. Do you know what I mean?
It's making a mythology, creating a kind of mythology.
So with
links back with itself.
Yeah, with this one, like we sold this picture, so we did then did a version of the room
as it was
made. So the room's within the room in the installation. It gets a bit.
We're all a bit sick of that room now.
Yeah. And like we've got like in number 5 there's some good colour sections. This is a guy called Harry Pye, which sort of
in number 1 doesn't have any colour.
Yeah, number 1's no colour, number 2 a bit of colour. So this has got colour and it's also got black and white and 2 colours.
So we asked the printer to suggest a good sort of binding and he came up with that, which works quite well. The other thing to say is that right through from the very first Legun through to that one, there's some artists that are always appearing So there's like a little sort of core group of people. Well, obviously we all put work into it, but there's also some people like the Professor of Illustration at the RCA has had work in every issue, I think.
Yeah.
Andrei Kowalski.
And he's very detrimental to how we start us starting off. So he's kind of in all of the issues, and this
Or instrumental.
instrumental.
Detrimental is bad for us.
Okay, it's bad. Instrumental then. This artist Emma Rendell
Genius.
is like in all of
The spearhead of Swedish surrealism.
and
This is a book of careers advice.
this is like
Essential reading.
this is kind of different to number 5. Is the first time we've actually had to pull out, you know, what would you call that?
Insert.
An insert. So
Nick.
we wanted to use this. We wanted to transform this story she did into a book. So it appears within the story and the book. Like he's given this envelope, so it refers to it. Anything else we want to say, Neil? Soundbite?
Could you show us maybe like some of the work that you mentioned were like by continuous, kind of the core group?
Yeah, sure. I mean, some things are really random. Like, this is not continuous. This is just some weird guy in Minnesota taking mushrooms.
So if we go like, that's the first thing we've got of Andrei Kowalski.
Yeah, you can all like hold it up.
Yeah.
You could do like a
This is also Andre.
timeline.
He does very
Do
graphic.
you want to get Andrei's bit in there? No.
Find Andre's bit.
Oh, so the cover is by him as well?
No, that's
No.
Neil hasn't understood what we're trying to do.
What we're trying to do?
show all of Andrei.
Oh, sorry, I was thinking about that.
Where is Andre's sticking?
Like this is another Andrei.
Oh, right, yeah. He's always at the beginning, isn't he?
No,
Or the end.
no, that he is
Yes,
That was
Andrei.
Andre, yeah. It's a bit different now.
Andre Kowalski there. There's also this guy, James Unsworth. He's quite popular. He's the most disgusting artist that's ever been.
But everyone catch up to Matt.
He's not in the first one.
He's definitely number 5.
No, he's in the third one. Here he is here with Ninja Turtle Sex Museum. It's his latest project.
This is the 7 Deadly Sins. So you've got what have you got here? This is green.